Honestly, sex itself has got so much better. I didn't know what I was missing. I want to be left the F alone. Quality over quantity is real right now. It's rushed. Using the 30-minute nap window, hello. It's hard to find time. Yeah. I get touched out by the time they're in bed. Yeah, we don't have the energy. We regularly have toddlers bed sharing. Can't be asked. It was hilarious trying for baby number 2. That's quite funny, actually. Hello, my gorgeous people. Welcome back to another episode here on Normal Mum. This is going to be the only episode, I hope, that there will ever be that you cannot listen to around kids. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but I really try my hardest to just keep the content, the language, the everything really nice. Reason being, I really want this to just be something that you can whack on in the background when you are washing your dishes, when you are driving in the car and the kids are sleeping, and you just want just a release. You know what I mean? That's what I imagine you listening to this and the environment that I imagine you listening to this in. This episode, however, I do not want you to be listening to if you've got tiny ears around, okay? Because we are going to be talking about sex, right? I'm spelling it because that is the phase of life that I'm in at the minute, where you have to spell everything, because my son is turning 5 and we've reached that point now where you can't really talk about stuff because he's going to clock on, right? So we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about it. We're going to address it. We're going to talk about sex and how it is different once you've had kids. The pressures, the thoughts, the everything, that how it looks different, like when you are living this double life is what it feels when you want to be a freak in the sheets, but you're also someone's mum. Do you know what I mean? So grab yourself a cup of tea and let's dive in into today's episode. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are recently back in the bedroom after having baby number 3. Okay. And I'm not going to lie, I felt so much pressure to come back. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am not one, like during pregnancy, the first trimester, you can basically forget it, because if I'm not asleep, I'm feeling unwell and I'm all touched out by my kids anyway. So first trimester, Carys, you're not getting a look in, okay? Second trimester, Carys, is like a whole new person. Like, I am ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's like I'm feeling incredible, like I feel like I'm glowing, like I just, you're in that nice phase of pregnancy, aren't you? Where you still look quite cute, like you're still quite nice, you've still got a bit of energy, you're out of that first trimester, like a little piece of you starts coming back is how it feels. And I love that time of my life when I'm in that stage of pregnancy. Then we're into the third trimester of pregnancy and it's like, forget it. Do you know what I mean? Like, forget it. Although I will say with Roman this time round, I did kind of go a little bit longer than what I had in previous pregnancies. I don't really know where that energy had come from, but that's just kind of how it went, right? But generally, like a lot of you guys actually said when I put this question in, and we'll get into a little bit more about you guys' experience, but like pregnancy and fun in the bedroom just does not go well together, like at all. Like I remember, like with Ben, it was like as soon as baby started moving, he was like, absolutely not. It's like there's that awareness, isn't there, that there is somebody else in the room, and it's just like, no, like I just can't get out of my own head at the best of times, but when I'm pregnant, it is like times 10. Okay, so at the end of pregnancy, obviously nothing is happening. It's just not comfortable. It's not nice. Even like, when they say to have sex to like bring labor forward, I'm like, I'd rather be pregnant for another 6 months than have sex. That is how much I don't want it when I'm in my third trimester. Okay. But then obviously baby is born and it's like that 6 to 8 weeks, isn't it? Like the first couple of weeks, like it doesn't even enter your brain. Like it just doesn't. And for me especially, it was like, no. But obviously my husband, he's not given birth. So he's like, this is great. Like baby's out. She's getting like back. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. And I'm like, no. Do you know what I mean? And I kid you not, like it got to like that 6 to 8 weeks and it was like, that's that time, isn't it? Like that 6 to 8 weeks point is that time where you are allowed to, in a sense of like your body is more or less back to normal, like physically your recovery is like, you're there, you're getting that. Do you know what I mean? Physically, obviously we all know that it can take, well, it does take like years to kind of really recover back from birth, but that first kind of 6 weeks is like, it's a good time. Do you know what I mean? Like you're actually allowed to, the GP will even sign that off, do you know? And yeah, like it rolled around to like the 6 weeks, and I actually lied to my husband and said it was 8 because I just was not ready at 6 weeks. Like it was just not happening. It was not happening. And I was like, no, it's 8 weeks. You have to wait. And again, the 8 weeks rolled around and I was just like, no, like I can't explain it to you. Just the desire was not there. The want was not there. It didn't even cross my mind. Like it really didn't. And bless him. Like he was so for it. Like, because I think pity on our men. We're making them wait. Do you know what I mean? Like he's out here with a pregnant wife who doesn't want to be touched. Then he's here with a mum who's exhausted, going through these hormones, the newborn phase, like just done in. And they're just there feeling a type of way. Do you know what I mean? Bless the husbands in that time. But I'm not going to lie. I fully felt pressure. Like I really did. I felt like the pressure of like, I needed to be ready because I can't make him wait, do you know? Which is just a bit ridiculous really when I actually voice it and think about it. But I didn't realize actually how common that is until I actually put it on my social media this week and had so many of you say the same thing. But I'll be honest with you, like I actually get so insecure. When I am pregnant, I know there's this whole thing around pregnancy and glowing, and some people actually feel they're most confident when they're pregnant. I have never actually felt more insecure when I'm pregnant. Like, I don't know what it is about my body, but like, I feel like my skin is different. Like I am different. Like I am so hormone driven. So if anything is off, I am off, do you know? Like those pregnancy hormones, they do take it out of me. I don't like how I look when I'm pregnant. I get so self-conscious of my legs, my boobs, my stomach, my everything, my skin, my hair. Like I get so in my head about things when I'm pregnant. Like, and I'm not going to lie, this time around, I put extensions in because I was like, well, at least if I've got good hair, hopefully it will distract from the rest. Okay. So I'm really insecure during pregnancy. And so it doesn't make me feel excited either about getting busy in the bedroom. It doesn't make me want to take my clothes off. It doesn't make me want to get intimate with my husband because I am so in my head about things. And as much as he can say to me like, no, you're fine, or like, what are you saying? Or do you know what I mean? As much as he can compliment me or tell me that I'm being ridiculous, if you don't feel confident in yourself, like we all know how much of a life-changing thing that is. Like you just don't operate the same way when you're not feeling your best. Do you know what I mean? So I get so insecure in pregnancy, so much so that I genuinely have such intrusive thoughts sometimes of like him going somewhere else, cheating on me, or, you know, like I'm actually really toxic when I think about it when I'm pregnant, because I am so insecure with how I look and how I feel and how much of myself I am actually giving to my husband during that time. Because at the end of the day, I'm tired, I'm growing a baby, my hormones are everywhere. Like I know that I retract so much in pregnancy that it genuinely scares me sometimes, like for my relationship. And it just makes me have all of these intrusive thoughts that obviously then don't make me want to get busy in the bed. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to lie, they also transfer into postpartum. Like postpartum, when you are again going through the motions, hormones are everywhere, milk is coming in, you're navigating this whole new journey of like motherhood. And again, I just never feel 10 out of 10. Like I'm aware of the extra lumps and bumps I have. I'm aware of my stretch marks. I'm aware of my stomach. I'm aware of everything that I maybe didn't have before that I now have. And after every baby, it's always the same story in a different way, do you know? So even this time round, like when it came to it, I was just so in my head off the back of a 9-month pregnancy, but also in my head of all of these new things that my body now has that I didn't have before. And I don't know if it's like just a woman thing or the world that we live in, that we are so aware of all these different things, but like literally I am. And as much as he can tell me, no, I'm fine, I'm beautiful, I'm whatever, which he does, by the way, he's lovely. I just get in my head. Okay. So I'm a lights off girly now, shall we say. I mean, I was never really a lights on girly because I've always been quite in my head. But now, especially, I am a lights off girly. Okay. Let's just put that out there. But that's not to say that I didn't just feel this extreme pressure of, having sex after I had my baby. Like, I really did just feel that I should be ready when I'm not. Okay. So like I might have mentioned, I am convinced that your body not only physically changes, but obviously emotionally, you're in a different place when you're having sex after having kids. Okay. So obviously emotionally, I was extremely hormonal anyway, like we always are. Like, I was feeling so ready for it in a sense of like, I wanted to be intimate with my husband, but also like way more tired, way more exhausted in my head about things because I was so aware of where I was being touched, how much I was being touched, like what do I look like, what am I feeling like, you know what I mean? Not only for me, but for him. Like, is he still turned on by me right now? Like, there was all these things that like I was thinking about those first couple of times when you're having sex after having kids. Like, it is different for me. And even physically, I think it's different. Like, I'll be real with you. The things that were hitting before, they weren't hitting the same after we'd had kids, right? And I don't know if that's actually a scientific thing, that things are different, but it just felt different. Like, it really did. Like, certain positions, certain ways that would work before weren't really working in the same way this time around. And what really changed for us, and maybe this is something that might help you guys, is we actually started talking about sex. Like, I feel like that's something that not many people actually do. But we really started doing it because pre-kids, I'm not going to lie, we were having a great time. We were having sex a lot. Probably why we got pregnant, okay? We were loving each other, loving life, loving being married, loving being engaged, loving all of that stuff that we had before kids. We were really enjoying each other and it was never an issue. Do you know what I mean? We just knew what we were doing together. We knew what worked for each other and it was amazing. We had a great time. But then after having kids, like I said, everything just felt different for me. And I remember it was more sort of when we had Saint that I really started opening up and talking about it. Because I remember when I had Saint, like things were very different for me. Like, without going into too much detail, but like I needed to warm up more, do you know? I needed more like affirmations. I needed to feel more wanted. Like, I know that people will always say sex doesn't always start in the bedroom, and I will die on that hill, right? I will die on that hill. And I will tell my husband all the time that, like, if you're not waking up in the morning telling me I'm pretty and being like super lovely to me all day, I'm probably not going to be feeling it by the end of the day when I've had like 10 kids is what it feels running around. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, being intimate is not just sex. And we do talk about that all the time. And I talk to him about that. Like, don't be surprised that I'm not ready to go like you. Like, I am not you. Women are different to men. And we really started having that conversation after we'd had Saint, because that's when it really felt different. After that second baby, that's when it really felt different for me. And we just started talking about it. And not only like, not when we were doing it per se, but just afterwards, I would kind of just be like, hey, like when you did that, that was really nice. Or when you did this actually wasn't really working for me. Or do you know what I mean? And also, like, it doesn't have to be, we don't talk that formally, but like, we will talk about what we've just done. Or like a couple days later, like I'll just mention it to him and be like, I really loved it when you did that. Like, I think communicating about sex is so important anyway. But I think especially once you've had kids and you want to have a good time with your partner. Like, time is scarce, guys. Let's not be fumbling. Do you know what I'm saying? Have the conversation and you will get there quicker. Okay? Take it from me. Big sis advice, Carys. Trust me, if you talk about it, it will just be better, right? So like I said, started opening up because I would feel guilty. Like, I really would. I'd feel guilty for not having it. And when we opened up, and I would start saying oh, it feels different for me and I don't want to do it so much because I'm tired and I'm with the kids all day. Like, it's fine for you. You go to work, I'm with the kids all day. So when you want to be intimate, I am I just want to peace out. I don't want to speak. I don't want to look at anything. I just want to sit down on the sofa and veg out. I don't want to be touched, talked to. That is where you enter into sometimes as a parent, isn't it? Where you just when those kids go to bed, so do you in your head. You just want to veg, eat some chocolate digestives, drink a hot cup of tea and peace the hell out. Don't even look at me is how it feels sometimes. And when we started actually communicating and talking about it, that's where we really realized that we're actually so different. Not just as in where we are with the kids, but where we are in terms of how a man and a woman work, right? Men, if you actually look at it, men have the same hormones every single day. They don't change. They can just want sex like that. I remember just after having Roman, I'd be walking around out the shower. And obviously Ben, bless him, he hadn't had sex in a while because pregnancy, postpartum, and it's this switch goes off in his head and he's just yes. And I'm no, just got out the shower. The kids are crying downstairs. You think I want to do this? No. You know what I mean? But it's just so different. Men and women are so different. We're more high maintenance girls. We need more love, care and attention. We need more of that affirmation. I need to be flirted with. I need to be spoiled. Call me high maintenance, but that is what I need. Do you know what I mean? Women are generally different. We really are. And that's when I started talking to Ben about it. And I was if you were this and if you helped more and if you were more affirmative and more, I just needed more from him than just going to bed and thinking he was going to get some. We're not kids. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the conversation that we had was we need to be more intentional about being intimate with each other, not just in the bedroom, but just being a couple, I think, which is so difficult when you've got kids because what I've just said, you just do feel touched out. You do just feel you've got no energy. You do just feel you want to sit and veg. You have no conversation sometimes at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, that's when it should be your time because you've got no kids. But it's so difficult. And I just remember so much the roommate phase with me and Ben, and I would get so sad and I would miss him so much because you do get periods where you're passing ships in the night, especially when you're in those newborn stages where you're taking shifts and one of you is sleeping, one of you is with baby, and one of you might be taking your kids out while the other one's with the newborn. And you just kind of have this system where one of you is looking after one of the kids, but you're not really together. And when you are together, you're just debriefing on the kids and work or what's happening in your life, and you actually do just miss each other. It's so real. That roommate thing is so real when you have got kids in the mix. And I think I actually saw a stat the other day about most marriages, if they're going to fail with kids involved, it is within the early stages, the early years of a kid's life, because it does demand so much from you. So it's no surprise, when you actually think about everything that you do in the day as a mum and as a parent, and you add work into that and friends and life and housework and everything into that, it's no surprise that at the end of the day, you're not bye, good night. Do you know what I mean? So for us, we actually started communicating about sex and what was actually working, but also communicating about where we were at and what we needed differently in each phase of our life. And that really changed the game for us, in our whole relationship when we had the kids involved, because obviously it's a whole different dynamic. And we do things now no phone zone where I will say, and I do this with my family, I do this with a lot of people that come to my house. I'm like, this is a no phone zone. Like when we're with the kids, when we're with each other, like let's just connect, like let's just speak, let's just be together. And it really has changed mine and Ben's relationship, like just having more of that time to just be Carys and Ben and like have fun with each other. Like obviously we have so much fun when we're with the kids, but then when you take the kids out of it, it's like I don't ever want to be left with like when the kids leave home and I'm like, hi, this is who I've been for the last 18 years. Like, you know what I mean? So we have really tried to just have that time. And listen, I'll be honest, we have 3 kids. Getting babysitters for 3 kids, it almost never happens. So for us, we don't get date nights in the same way anymore. So we have to be intentional about our evenings, about stealing time in the day, stealing time in the morning, or having those conversations. And I don't even mean like to have sex. What I mean is to just be Carys and Ben, to just connect. Because if you don't have that connection and that emotion and that intimacy in conversation and just being together, how is that going to happen when you get to the bedroom? Do you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't come as easily for us anyway. Yeah, that's kind of what we started doing, was just talking more, communicating more, and just being with each other. Do you know what I mean? And like putting the phone away, putting the phone down, not watching telly and just talking or having dinner together. Like we'll have sometimes dinner when the kids have gone to bed instead, like just to talk, and we'll sit at the dining table and we will have that time and just being intentional, because I never want to lose us. Like when I think about what made us and what made this family was 2 people that fell in love, and I would just hate for this lovely thing that we've built together, this beautiful family that we have, to then lose where it all started. Like, and I know, listen, things happen, right? And you can't always protect that. But for me, that is just so important for me. Like Ben was my best friend. Like before we even were a couple, we were best friends, and I never ever, that's why I didn't really want to like start dating him, like because we were so best friends, you know what I mean? Like I loved him so much as a friend, I didn't even want to start dating him, because I was like, I just love having him in my life, and we all know how bad that can go if you start dating a friend and it doesn't go the right way. But like for me, that is so important for me. And so listen, do I still feel like pressure to like have sex with him? Of course I do. Like I'm so aware, if we've not had sex in like, you know, however long, I am so aware of the fact. And he will also remind me, he's a guy, like he will also say like, hello. And like the other day, I'll be real, listen, this is the place for TMI and oversharing, right? But I was like on my period. So I said to him, I was walking up the stairs when he was like, it's like the middle of the day. And this is like man brain. Do you know what I mean? It's like the middle of the day. One of the kids is napping. One of the kids is like in nursery. He's working from home. I'm working from home. Sol's in school. And it's like one of those things where he's like, oh, one of them's entertained. Like, should we go upstairs? I'm like, no, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. He could come upstairs at any point. You think I'm going to be able to switch on and be like intimate and sexy with you? No, like that is just not going to happen. Like such is the mind of a man. And he's like, oh, but we haven't had sex in ages. I'm like, babe, it's been a week because I was on my period. Like, no, do you know? But that is the mind of a man. If you go 2 days, they're like, it's been a year. Like they're so dramatic, aren't they, when it comes to this? But it's just like one of those things. And like, I am so aware of that. Like I am so aware. And you can't really ever switch that off, I don't feel, or at least I can't, like that kind of awareness. And maybe it does come from like that insecurity thing of like, I don't know, when I was pregnant, I just feel like if I don't have sex, he's going to run away. He's not. I know he's not that guy, and I'm not that girl. But what I would say, like what really changed and helped us was just communicating more, not only about what we were actually doing when we were in the bedroom, but also just each other and where we were at in general. So I asked you guys, okay, I've talked enough about my life and my experiences. I think we should open this door again because I feel so much better for getting this off my chest. But I actually asked you guys like what your life is like now. So ready? Listen to this. Okay, so I asked, how long after birth did you get busy in the bedroom? Okay, so ASAP, 6 to 8 weeks, 23% of people. Within the first 3 months, 34%. Within the first 3 to 9 months, 34%. And 9 months to over a year, 9% of us were feeling like we just needed time. Do you know what I mean? And even just looking at that, I was like, wow, like for the body to be ready physically in the first like 6 to 8 weeks, the fact that only 23% of us are actually ready to do that, like it says a lot. Like we're not there. Like the majority of us was like that 3 to 9 month period, like where I would say is probably where your hormones start evening out. Like for me, the 6 month mark, I can feel myself getting there now. Roman is 5.5 months. I can feel myself coming back to life is how it feels. And yeah, it feels good. I'm not going to lie, but it takes time for you to balance out. It takes time for you to figure out who you are again and, you know, your hormones to adjust and you to get this new routine. Like it's no surprise that we're not ready after 6 weeks. Are you kidding me? Like, no. So that's what we were saying about getting back busy after having babies. But then I asked, how has your sex life changed since having kids? Okay. And this is the general consensus. So if you ever feel like you're on your own, or if your man thinks that he's the only man in the world that isn't having sex every day of his life, please bring him to this podcast and let me educate, okay? Because this is where the women are at, okay? It's hard to find time. Yeah. I get touched out by the time they're in bed. Yeah. We don't have the energy. We regularly have toddlers bed sharing. Side note, you people that are like sharing your bed with your kids though, how are you doing that? Like, how are you actually doing that? I have never bed shared with babies, but I would love to know how are you getting around that? Like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, finding time and energy is the hardest part, but I do feel more connected. Love that. It has to be more intentional. We communicate about it more than before. Love it. From having kids, my sex life has been so much better. 14 years together, by the way. Hello, you. We love to hear it. The littlest one is almost 5, so now we're back to normal, but we've just got to be creative when we do it. I love this. Feel so touched out from the kids. I want to be left the F alone, honey. I can relate. Less frequent, once per week, and we're trying to be quieter. Love that for you, girl. Honestly, sex itself has got so much better. I didn't know what I was missing. And you know what? I can actually relate. Talking to Ben, my husband, about sex after having kids, like opening that door to communicating, our sex life has actually improved. Yeah, okay, we might be having it a little less often than what we were before, but the quality over quantity is real right now, okay? So there's something to be said about the communication. Do you know what I mean? This girl cried the first time I tried. Completely. That's why I had to be drunk. Do you know what I mean? This girl can't be asked. It was hilarious trying for baby number 2. That's quite funny, actually. It's like Monica and Friends, isn't it? When she's like, we've got to go now. Like, I'm ovulating. I can still see that. That's so funny. Way down on my priority list. I had to relearn and rebuild confidence, and it comes from time and support from my partner. 100%. Like, we've got to relearn that whole confidence. Do you know what I mean? Non-existent. A couple of times every couple of 10 days to now probably once every 3 months. This girl, mine's got better. It's rushed. Using the 30-minute nap window. Hello. Some of us are utilizing it. Love that for you guys. Nothing but a chore. Oh, honey. But yeah, like what I'm seeing here, like, is just such, this one, sorry, got better. More adventurous because we can't use the bedroom with the baby in. Firstly, why not? We have sex with Roman in the bedroom. But also, I love that for you. Like, tell me where. Do you know what I mean? Like, where are you going, please? Like, that sounds fun. Anyway, what we just seen there, like, it's such a mixed bag. Like, so not, again, like we're learning every time we're having this conversation, isn't it? About everything. Like, things are so different from person to person, and you genuinely just cannot compare. Like, you actually cannot compare. And, you know, my experience is my experience. You guys' experience is your experience. But at the end of the day, like, we are just out here feeling touched out. We're feeling tired. We're feeling overwhelmed. We've got life that we're dealing with at the same time. And it is sticky. Like, it is harder when you've got kids and you've got things to think about and other time. And listen, you just want to hit the pillow and go to sleep. Like, I just understand that so much. But anyway, I just wanted to have that conversation today because I was talking about it with Ben the other day, because I was saying about how I was feeling when we first started having sex after having kids. And we were just talking about how different things are for us now. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring it to the pod. And to be honest, this is probably a conversation that I do want to have again. Like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about other things that are things that maybe we don't open up about so often, because I just think it's important to make us feel, like we always say, less alone and a lot more normal. So make sure that you follow the Normal Mum Podcast Instagram, okay? Because every week I'm going to be coming to you with a question, a topic, something that I just would love to hear from you guys. Like, it just not only makes me feel better, makes me feel like I'm not the only girl in the world, but also I hope it helps you guys just feel a little bit more heard, seen, understood, right? So please head over to Normal Mum Podcast. Make sure you give that a follow and share this with a friend, share it far and wide with another mum friend. But once again, thank you so much for joining me. I love having you here, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you again very soon. Love you lots. Bye.